Hello friends, welcome to my channel BioBeats. Let's explore and grow together. So, today we are going to discuss about ecological interactions. An ecosystem has diverse living organisms which interact with one another in many different ways. So, the first type of interaction which we are going to see is mutualism. When both the interacting partners or individuals, for example partner A and partner B, gets benefited from the interaction, then it is known as mutualism. The first example is of honeybee and the flower. The honeybee gets nectar from the flower and in return it picks up the pollen and transports it to another flower. This helps in the pollination of flower. Therefore, both the partners are getting benefited. The next example is of crocodile and plover bird. Whenever crocodile eats a meal, food gets stuck in the teeth of the crocodile, which can lead to the tooth decay. So, crocodile sits with mouth open and plover bird comes and eat the stuck food. In this way, plover bird gets meal and crocodile gets tooth cleaning. The second type of interaction is commensalism. It is a relationship in which one partner gets benefited whereas the other remains unaffected. Let us see some examples. This picture is of epiphyte. Epiphyte are the plants which grow on other plants or use them only for support and do not hurt them. It means they do not take any kind of nutrition from the other plant. So here epiphyte gets benefited whereas the other plant remain unaffected. The second example of commensalism is of frog and rainforest plant. In this case, the frog uses plant to hide from sun and rain, whereas by this activity of frog, the plant remains unaffected. Now let us move towards next type of relationship or interaction, which is parasitism. Parasitism is a type of interaction in which one individual, that is parasite, lives in or on another individual, that is host, which causes the harm to the host. So there are individuals, that is parasite, it getting benefited and at the expense of another individual, that is host. Now let us see some examples. The first example is of mosquito and human. The mosquito get food, that is blood, from the human, whereas the human gets negatively affected by itching sensation and also exposure to many diseases. Now let us see another example of parasitism in plants. This picture is of cuscuta plant growing on another plant. Cuscuta is a parasitic plant and takes up the required nutrition from the host plant on which it is growing. So here cuscuta is getting benefited at the expense of its host. It is totally different from the case of epiphyte which we saw in the commensalism, because there the epiphyte do not take nutrition from the host and here cuscuta is taking. Therefore, it is the example of parasitism. Now, let's move to another type of interaction or relationship. Predation is a type of interaction in which one organism, that is predator, eats other organism, that is prey. The predator gets benefited at the expense of life of prey. So here, one individual gets benefited whereas other gets negatively affected. Now, the question arises, how to distinguish between parasitism and predation? And the answer is very simple. In this case of parasitism, the host may be or may not be killed, but in case of predation, the prey is always killed. Let us see some example of predation. The example of predator and prey is lion and zebra respectively. The lion catches and kills the zebra for food. The next example of predation is of fox and rabbit. Here the fox is a predator whereas the rabbit is a prey. Friends, the next type of interaction is amensalism. Here, in this type of interaction, the one individual remains neutral or unaffected whereas the other individual get negatively affected. Let us clear this concept with the help of some examples. The first example is of elephant and ant. While walking, elephant steps on ant which does not harm or benefit elephant, whereas the ants get negatively affected. The next example is of wild pig and soil-dwelling organism. While searching for food, wild pig often disturb the upper layer of soil and harms the soil dwelling organism. Here, the pig is not benefited from this action at all, but the soil dwelling organism gets negatively affected. Now, now it's time to test your knowledge. Here are few examples of different type of interactions and you have to identify which type of interaction it is. The first example is of cattle and egret bird. When cattle graze, it removes some small insects and organisms from the grass, which are then eaten up by the egret bird. Here, egret bird is getting benefited, whereas cattle remains unaffected. Can you identify the type of interaction? Yes, it is commensalism. This picture shows the ascaris which lives in intestine of human and takes up the required nutrition which is harmful to the human. So which type of interaction it is? Yes, it is parasitism. This picture shows monkey eating wild fruit which will be thrown somewhere else in the forest, which will result in seed dispersal. So here both the individuals, that is monkey and tree, is getting benefited. So which type of interaction it is? It is mutualism. Here in this picture we can see that snake is eating the rat. So in which type of interaction the one individual eats another individual? Yes, it is predation. I hope this will be helpful to you. If you have any queries regarding this topic, then please mention it in the comment section below. If you like this video, then hit the like button and share with your friends. And also subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching, guys.